I like this place, I do, but I couldn't see myself, spending the rest of my life here. It's kind of a drag when you're 20 some years old and there's nothing really to do in the area. I'm from Brownsville, Pennsylvania. I'm 23 years old. I was born May 24th, 1994, to Gene and Sherry Watson in Jeanette Mercy Hospital. Brownsville used to have a ton of stuff in it. There was movie theaters, restaurants, there was shopping, there were arcades, there was a train station for actual passenger trains. It was quite the place to live, from what I've been told. Today, though, you wouldn't know it. You drive through, it's all dilapidated buildings, it's, ghosts of, you can see where things were, but unfortunately it's just a sad state now. Whenever all the jobs started to leave, everybody else started to leave as well, and with such a small population and such a drastic shrink, the small businesses, the small stores that were in the area just couldn't keep up, and they wound up going under, unfortunately. We went to my alma mater at my old high school, Brownsville area high school. We went to the football field where I spent a lot of my Friday nights during my time in high school. We visited Fiddles for a little bit today, got some good food. This whole area where these buildings are pretty significant to me. It was weird. Sports was really one of those things that kind of helped me through high school. With tennis and track and field and football, between those three kind of helped me get out of my shell, meet people, because I was kind of a backward kid. Always had a hard time making friends. Football kind of helped me get out of my shell, stop being so afraid. My name is actually on a trophy over in the gymnasium for football. It's called the Bernie Bergen Award, and I won it for being one of the more outstanding student athletes on the team. This is about the entirety of campus for high school. It's not very big, it's not very glamorous, but this is just somewhere I spent a lot of time, and it really means a lot to me as far as looking back and kind of seeing, okay, this is kind of where Red Watson became Red Watson, because this is kind of where that nickname started. Yeah. All of a sudden, BAPD's finest just roll up on us, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And we're shooting a web series documentary, and they're like, "Oh, well, you need permission to do that." And we're like, "Okay, well, fine, we'll just leave." And the superintendent came out, met us, greeted us. But yeah, like I said, people around here know you, and if you're a memorable face, or just a memorable person, people will remember you, and it can be extremely helpful, like we saw today, because those two guys recognized me and were like, "Oh, it's Red, he's not bugging anybody." So that can work extremely well in your favor, and that's why, like I said, coming to a place like this after going to Pittsburgh and moving away, it's great. I can still hear the crying, I can still smell the smells. It's weird. Again, like I said, what I wouldn't give to be able to go back one more time and, I don't know, get to play a little bit more. Some of my coaches called it affectionately the hellhole. It is not the prettiest stadium to look at. The locker rooms are not the nicest. It's kind of a hole, but it's our hole, and we love it. So, welcome to hell. Man, there's nothing in the world that feels like it. Probably one of the more exciting things I got to do in high school, honestly. So, now I miss it. Brownsville is basically built on its ability to have industry, and with that not being much of a thing anymore, Brownsville's kind of taken a bit of a hit. You know, it used to be that Brownsville was just as big and booming of a town almost as Pittsburgh. But, you know, whenever everything started to leave and be made overseas, that's when Brownsville started to shrivel up and die real quick. Because you can see, Brownsville used to be a decent-sized town, but now everywhere you look, there's abandoned buildings, they're all run down, the place looks like nobody cares about it, it's just sad.
If there was one stereotype that would be associated with your hometown, what would it be?
Probably that we're all redneck hicks, which, I mean, wouldn't be far off. There are a lot of rednecks around here, but there's also a lot of hardworking, good people as well. I know that this area voted heavily for Donald Trump, and I know that can be a sometimes polarizing thing, but what I want everyone to realize and, you know, kind of stop associating with Fayette County is that we're not all a bunch of drugged up losers. We're not all a bunch of violent redneck idiots. You know, we're actually, some of us are good, honest, hard-working people who are just trying to get along. You know, I think a lot of times we're undone by things like 96.1 KISS or, you know, different radio stations that play weird news from Fayette County, which, you know, I know it's fun to say, look at the Hicks, but after a while, the joke just kind of starts to lose its luster on everybody who lives here, you know? Well, future plans, more or less, just to kind of stay afloat like everybody else and, you know, never try to get too high, never try to get too low. Just kind of stay in the middle, stay the course, and, you know, wait for the good things to happen, because I'm sure they're going to happen at some point. A lot of other places, they don't care who Red Watson is. Brownsville, you know, in spite of all the bad things that have, you know, happened to me here, in spite of some of the lows that I've had in my time here, I wouldn't trade having people have your back for anything. You know, that's just an awesome feeling to have people know your name. Being from Brownsville and being from Fayette County definitely are like big influences on who I am as a person. You know, I don't think I'd be quite as off the wall, quite as outrageous if I wasn't from somewhere where, you know, the unexpected happens basically every day. When I come back to Brownsville, it means, oh, you know what? I'm home. Nothing can really hurt me here. This is where I'm from. This is my backyard, and anything that comes in it's got to get through me, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Cash presents Locals Only, the only web series where we come to various hometowns and see what's up there.
I'm good.
Yeah,
That was good. That was a perfect way to end it.